Police in Massachusetts are searching for a mother after a newborn baby girl was abandoned on an elderly man's doorstep. The man quickly called 911 after reading a note that read, "Please take good care of this child." Good afternoon, I'm Tom Langford. We begin with what could be another hit in the wallet for Rhode Island homeowners. Just a month after National Grid got approval for the state's highest rate hike ever, the utility wants to raise rates again. Well, vote here. That's what this sign says, and that's what people have been doing inside this door at the Gregorian School in Providence all morning long. You know, I've covered a lot of elections, but I've never seen people so excited to vote as they are today. Hey, if you love it, why not go out in it, right? I got to tell you, we're right next to the towers in Narragansett, and there was a huge wedding taking place here. The bride and groom came out. They took some photos down by the water about an hour ago. We talked to them. We're going to hear from them and what they have to say for their unwelcome guest on their wedding day here, coming up in about a half hour. For now, live in Narragansett, Tom Langford, ABC 6 News. So at this event, an expert will come over, actually get inside your car, take a look at your seat, give it a good shake, and make sure it's installed right. It is 6:53 on ABC 6 News to go. In just a few hours, federal investigators are expected at the site of yesterday's deadly plane crash in a supermarket parking lot in Easton. And over here, the Providence Journal is donating bundles of newspapers. This comes from the day after Election Day, President Obama. The headline, I'm sure they'll be interested to read about that. All this showing that even in this tough economy, the troops overseas are not forgotten about. And up here in the back is Shane Borg. I'm going to jump up here. Shane, how was it riding in the truck?
Pretty cool.
All right, Shane, if you saw the last hour, I was living with muscular dystrophy and cruising around with these guys. And what do you think about all the firefighters do to help MD? Good afternoon, I'm Tom Langford. We begin with what could be another hit in the wallet for Rhode Island homeowners. Just a month after National Grid got approval for the state's highest rate hike ever, the utility wants to raise rates again. ABC 6 reporter Parker Gavigan live in Warwick with the latest on this for us. Parker. We have some breaking news out of Pawtucket now. A mosquito has tested positive for the West Nile virus. This is just coming into our newsroom. The mosquito was trapped in the Woodlawn section of Pawtucket. It is the first case of West Nile virus in Rhode Island this year. Connecticut and Massachusetts have already had positive results for the potentially deadly virus. Health officials say you should wear bug spray, especially at dusk and dawn. They also remind you to eliminate mosquito breeding grounds in your yard by removing any standing water on your property. We'll have more on the story for you this afternoon on ABC 6 News, first at 4. All right, if you've been outside today, you know the weather is simply spectacular. We take a live look at Warwick and see a lot of blue sky up there above those trees. Steve Cascione live at the Weather Center. Steve, this is probably one of the nicest days we are going to have this year. Only on ABC 6, after a month-long manhunt, police find one of Rhode Island's most wanted bank robbers and have him in custody. ABC 6 reporter Malvani Basu has more. Also only on ABC 6, a bold bicycle bandit is on the loose in Pawtucket. He robbed a man who was sitting in a car, then sped away on his bike. ABC 6 reporter Robert Goulston has more.
Robert Goulston, ABC 6 News.
Another bold robber. This guy stole a church donation box right out of the hands of an elderly priest. It happened Sunday at a church in Holliston, Massachusetts. Reverend Gerard Furlan says a man in his 30s approached him and he thought he was going to ask him a question. But instead, he grabbed the box of money and ran into a waiting van, which then sped off.
Ran away that way. I ran after him, but he's old. I'm old as him, 77, and he probably was 30, see. So he ran faster than me.
Furlan estimates the box contained about $500 in donations. Police are still looking for the suspect. New details in the battle between Governor Don Carcieri and the state's largest public employees union, Council 94. The governor is outraged at a judge who reversed her own decision and is now blocking the governor from raising health insurance costs for unionized state workers. Governor Carcieri says the increase is needed to balance the state budget, and he issued this statement. It reads, quote, "On August 20th, Judge Hurst correctly decided that she did not have the authority to enjoin this office from implementing the executive order within the executive branch. This latest decision by Judge Hurst is not a clarification of that decision. It is a complete and outrageous reversal of what she said just last week." Neighbors in Danvers, Massachusetts are getting some money after a huge explosion rocked their homes. The explosion 2 years ago at ink manufacturer CAI and paint maker Arnell destroyed more than a dozen homes and damaged about 250 others. Yesterday, property owners approved a $6.6 million settlement offer. 100 property owners will share more than $1 million of that settlement. Insurance companies who have already paid out claims will get the rest. Still ahead on ABC 6 News at noon, are the airlines going too far to save money? Well, Doreen, this is something you don't want to see. I'm standing in the middle of Route 95 South during rush hour, and there are no cars. The road closed all the way back at exit 4, and this is the reason why. If you look down there, just before exit 2, there has been a tanker truck rollover. The tanker truck was carrying jet fuel, and that jet fuel is all over the road. You can see the large amount of rescue vehicles, fire trucks, police cars, and cleanup crews as they're on the scene trying to clean up this big mess. There's some houses nearby in Attleboro. Those homes have been evacuated because of the fumes that come from this jet fuel. Very strong fumes. You don't want to breathe that in. We do want to tell you there's some good news to all this. 95 northbound, in the northbound direction, has now reopened. It was closed completely for, I'd say, a good hour this morning, but now 2 lanes are open in the northbound direction. They hope to open a 3rd lane northbound soon, but this southbound side is not going to open anytime soon, and that's going to be a real mess for the commute. Right now, cars are being detoured off the highway at exit 4. That's the 295 exit. You got to take Route 1 south down and get back on the other side of exit 2. So a long detour if you're heading this way. Live in Attleboro, Tom Langford, ABC 6 News. Well, vote here. That's what this sign says, and that's what people have been doing inside this door at the Gregorian School in Providence all morning long. You know, I've covered a lot of elections, but I've never seen people so excited to vote as they are today. Voters lined up early at places like the Gregorian School in Providence. Jerry Abbott was first in line. He arrived a half an hour before the polls even opened.
I don't want to miss the chance to vote, of course. It's a great opportunity. And I'm also off to Boston to do a little work this morning. So
get in and get out.
That's right.
Despite some early lines, voting went smooth across the region. The one exception in Smithfield, where new ballots had to be printed up and delivered mid-morning. The printer mistakenly left the name of a town council candidate on the ballot, even though the candidate had withdrawn from the race. The machines wouldn't read the ballots with an extra name, so ballots had to be hand-counted until the new ones arrived.
You know, very upset that there's an error out there that the printer printed a ballot which was not proper. But at the same time, it shows the system works. It shows that the machines will not read a ballot that is not properly configured, which is a great thing. And it also shows that here in Rhode Island, we have the good fortune of having a paper trail. So those ballots will not be, they will be counted. Those voters will not be disenfranchised.
And that matters, especially since so many people say this election is so important.
I think everybody ought to vote. This is one chance every 2 to 4 years.
I'm glad that people are excited about this one.
Whoever you're for, just get out here and exercise your right and your power.
Now, if you still haven't gone out to vote, now is the time to do it. The polls are the least busiest during the mid-afternoon. Expect long lines as people get out of work between 5 and 7 tonight. Live in Providence, Tom Langford, ABC 6 News. It's Olympic week at Camp Hope in North Scituate. Like many other summer camps this year, the kids march in an opening ceremony parade.
1, 2, 3, go team!
Then compete in events like the softball toss,
74 feet!
hurdles, and disc throw. You'd never know, this is a camp for kids with cancer.
It's just a wonderful place to go to.
Jonathan Solis has a brain tumor. He's been coming here since he was 8.
I get my mind off of it and stuff like that.
Donors pay for the kids to attend Camp Hope.
That was an awesome job at the hurdles. It's a great event.
And the staff is all volunteers. People like Kerry Clark, a nurse practitioner who has given up a week of her summer vacation every year for the past 19 years.
The staff really enjoys it. We all enjoy it a great deal. And you really feel like you're able to make this better, you know, to allow these kids to have this experience.
The camp is free for kids ages 7 to 17 with cancer and all their siblings. So when you look out here, you can't tell who has cancer and who doesn't. And that's the point.
Once they get here, they're all campers. You're not the sick kid, the well kid. They're siblings and campers, and they're all on the same playing field.
A point not lost on 7-year-old Chance Boucher, a leukemia patient.
I don't really like to be treated different.
And up here, everybody's treated the same.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. It's amazing what happens when sick kids are taken away from hospitals, treatments, and disease. They're not patients anymore. They're just kids, and they're having the time of their lives. At Camp Hope in North Scituate, Tom Langford, ABC 6 News.